The Lakers have reassigned Max Christie to the G League, which is very interesting, right? Because it means is something on the rise, right? The Lakers have not gotten off to the start that they had hoped. We have a full roster spot, right? Our roster is 15 people deep, and so therefore, the Lakers, if they wanted to clear up a roster spot for a signing or a trade or something along those lines, then they would need to either buy some guys out, waive some guys. You do have guys like Winning Gabriel, Matt Ryan, that are on non-guarantees that they could get rid of, or reassign somebody like a Max Christie to the G League, and now you open up that roster spot. So what does this mean? Does this mean something is in the works, right? There's a lot of talks about trades. The Buddy Hield to Miles Turner trade we know is on the table. It takes both first-round picks. Do the Lakers feel like we got to do something? You know, it's time to move now. We're 0-3. Russ isn't looking very good with this team. Things aren't going the way that we had hoped. We thought we could be a little more patient, but, you know, we have a tough slate of games coming up. So do we end up just pulling the trigger on a Buddy Hield to Miles Turner, right? Now, I don't think this deal is worth both first personally. Miles Turner is also hurt, right? So do you want to take a guy that is already going to miss at least a week? So he's not going to be able to play during these stretches of games. And on top of that, he has a huge injury history, right? He's played around like 45 games the last 2 seasons. Buddy Hield, as good of a shooter as he is, one shooter isn't going to save everything. But does his shooting kind of help inspire other people? Does a fresh, clean slate kind of, reignite a fire in this team, right? I mean, we're already great defensively. We're a top 5 defense currently, and we just need to be able to finish games, close out, and shoot the ball. We could just as easily be 3-0, if not at least 2-1, if we just knock down shots. Our biggest problem has been shooting, and we're shooting about 20% from 3 over the last 3 games, and maybe a guy like Buddy Hield comes in, shoots, 36%, 37%, somewhere around there, and maybe that kind of, the other guys see the ball going into the hoop and think like, okay, like, let's get it. Let's back this up, right? Because that could just be a thing too, Nobody's knocking down shots. Everybody's missing. It's like, man, like we can't, like LeBron said, we can't throw a penny into the ocean right now. And it's like, how do you get over that? Well, maybe seeing a guy knock down, 3 straight threes to start a game or something like that. And it's like, all right, like if he did it, I can do it. Let me knock. And it just adds that excitement, that fire. Rebounding is a real issue. And Miles Turner, maybe he helps. Problem is, he's never been an elite rebounder. He's elite in the perimeter, blocking shots and stuff, but he's a 12-7 guy. And a lot of people say, well, he had Sabonis, so he wasn't able to do a lot of things. Yes, but he's going to have Anthony Davis. So it's like, he's still playing with 2 bigs nonetheless. So is he going to be able to solve that problem? Now, I think he would help as far as like getting bullied down low by some of the bigger, just sizable centers, right? We saw Ivica Zubac just manhandle Anthony Davis. Like that can't happen. Maybe Miles Turner can come in and kind of save the day in that regard. It doesn't help our perimeter defense. We'd still need some perimeter guys, but it does make sense. If you get rid of Max Christie, right, and you went and did the Indiana trade, then you'd have your 15 spots, right? You don't have to get rid of Winning Gabriel. You don't have to get rid of Matt Ryan. Buddy Hield basically takes Christie's spot, and then Miles Turner would take Russell Westbrook's spot. Something to keep in mind. Another possibility is from reports earlier today, the Charlotte Hornets trade, right? You go and get like a Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward. Maybe you don't have to give up both picks or any picks in that case, and you get a 3-and-D guy. Injury concerns are a problem. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's my biggest concern. I actually like the Hornets trade over the Pacers trade just because I don't think we need another center. I think we need guys that can knock down the 3 and play perimeter defense, right? We're already a top 5 defense. If we had guys that could be 3-and-Ds, and I'd rather have several. Like I said, Buddy Hield doesn't solve our 3-point shooting by himself, but 3 guys shooting 36 to 37% does, right? Because now you have several guys that can knock it down, especially if those guys are playing heavy minutes. Miles Turner doesn't save the day from shooting woes, right? He helps down low, but Buddy Hield, he doesn't help perimeter defense, but he helps shooting woes. But Is he playing 48 minutes a game, shooting 53s a game? I don't think so. So it's just like, if everyone else is shooting 20% and one guy is shooting 36%, okay, now we're 25% from three rather than, whatever. Although Buddy Hield would help sort of spread the floor, so would a, Hornets trade, right? If you did a Hornets trade and you had three guys, those guys are going to spread the floor as well. And the Hornets deal, you could literally have all those guys starting. You don't miss a beat defensively, right? Like you could have, a Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis starting five. You're still going to be great defensively. You still have now you have some real 3-point snipers around LeBron James. Like, I just think the Hornets trade would be a really solid trade. You would, in that case, have to either waive somebody or add somebody, right? Maybe you're throwing in a winning Gabriel, or maybe in that case you're letting go of Matt Ryan because you're like, okay, we don't need him as badly as we need these other guys. Maybe Swider's hurt, right? So maybe Swider loses his two-way spot. You move Matt Ryan to a two-way spot. That frees up the space. So if you do need a shooter, say Gordon Hayward goes down or something like that, you could bring in Matt Ryan, and now you kind of replace his shooting. It's just an option. It's just a thought there. Gives us some more added depth, right? Now we legit have at least at the bare minimum, we have an 8 to 10 guy rotation because, I think guys like Walker, Kendrick Nunn, Patrick Beverley, Damian Jones, Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schroeder, I think all those guys are really going to make an impact. Two of them are hurt right now, right? Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder. And now you're adding three guys that can come in and make an impact. That could really help. The other possibility is there is no trade, and they're looking at somebody like a Mo Harkless, right? The Lakers recently worked out Mo Harkless. He's got size, could play the 3, could play the 4. A lot of questions were, do you unload Winning Gabriel? Do you unload, Matt Ryan? Do you move him to a two-way? Like, what do you do? Well, if you move Max Christie, well, then you can bring in, a Mo Harkless on a non-guaranteed, give him a shot, see if he can kind of help. And if he can help, then, maybe you keep him for the long haul, kind of be our Stanley Johnson of this season. A big, sizable wing that could play the 3, could play the 4. A lot of people really want to see Mo Harkless. Maybe Carmelo Anthony. A lot of people really want Melo on the team. Me personally, I'm on the fence. The Melo fan in me wants him on the Lakers. I really do. But I don't think he solves our issues. As great of a three-point shooter as he could be, he's atrocious defensively. And I just think, I don't think he's, if Buddy Hield isn't going to save the day, I don't think Carmelo Anthony's going to save the day. And I'd rather just fully lean in defensively at this point and hope guys average out until we can find a trade than bring in a Carmelo Anthony on a non-guaranteed. Maybe he's scoring 10 to 12 points a game, but he's giving up 15 to 20. Doesn't really help you. At least Matt Ryan, he's better at moving his feet. He's younger. He at least tries. He hustles. Carmelo Anthony, I don't know if he's going to be able to be that guy. But nonetheless, I think it's very interesting what we're seeing. Obviously, the Lakers had to have done this for a reason. I don't see them just opening the roster spot just to open the roster spot. Because if they wanted to save money or cut costs or do something like that, they would have just waived a guy. Or they would have just got rid of one of the non-guarantees. No, they reassigned Max Christie for a purpose, for a reason. Whether it's to bring in one of these free agents, maybe it's DeMarcus Cousins, or maybe it's I believe Hassan Whiteside's still out there. Maybe they just want to get some more size, at least until Thomas Bryant gets back. Maybe that's one thing that they're looking at. There's a lot of possibilities out there, but I do think the Lakers did something. I think Rob Pelinka has something in the works, or he believes he's going to be able to pull off a trade. I wouldn't expect a trade today or the next coming days. I do think the Lakers kind of feel some stuff out, kind of gauge several teams, and just kind of try to actively work out a trade without getting completely fleeced. Because the problem is that teams know the Lakers are desperate. Teams know the Lakers are 0-3 and they need to do something. So it might be a little while before Rob Pelinka pulls a deal. But I do think that's something. Why else would you do this with Max Christie unless you were trying or had something in the works? Now, don't necessarily expect a trade. It could just be them bringing in a Mo Harkless or a Carmelo or a Whiteside or Cousins or something like that to kind of try to, maybe add some size down low, something like that. But it is an interesting sign, especially for the Indiana Pacers deal, because reassigning Max Christie makes you could trade easily and you don't have to get rid of Gabriel or Matt Ryan. Boom. Even swap out, give up the picks, whatever. Boom, boom. We're good, right? Just something to think about. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of this? Do you think the Lakers have a deal worked out? Do you think that they're in the process of getting a deal worked out? Do you think it's just signing a free agent and just testing a free agent out, like a Mo Harkless, Carmelo, Whiteside, Cousins, something like that? Or do you think, like, no, like this was just, save a spot just in case something comes up down the line, which could be a possibility. Maybe they just wanted to do this now, get it out of the way, and just wait to see what develops. Either way, I think Rob Pelinka's at least trying something, but we'll see. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Let me know down in the comment section below.